over. And you, I think you had the vault was still there too, right?
Yeah.
You had to hammer that thing out? And,
Yeah, that took a mini excavator with a jackhammer attachment on it about a week.
yeah. How'd you get caught one of those things and get elected? You know, you never get on that thing. So in any event, so what happened then, we occupied that building until 1957. Then in 1957, we moved to our new facility in an ultra modern design of 1957. And you can see the fancy, signs and everything, and the fancy building. And this is in the wintertime, of course. And we ran into a lot of problems with the clock. Everybody has their own time. And it was the most talked about thing in Marblehead. What time do we have on our clock? Then later, I don't have a picture of it, later we had the time and temperature and the clock and the other type of clock. We had to take that down because people were just too worried about the time and not enough worried about banking, so we did that. Then
They figured if you couldn't tell time,
yeah,
you couldn't control their
that's
money
right.
very well.
Well, we always said, now we were always ahead of time, that's why I just wanted to know. So in any event, we're still using actually the two poles for our sign now that we have up there, and they still have the same similar interest. I'm still using those two poles, but we put a different panel in there. The interesting thing was, I don't know what it was, 10, 15 years ago, an ice truck came in and hit our pole, hit our sign, and knocked it flabberjawed, you know. Broke the sign, tipped it over. Well, you know, it takes more than 2 days to get a new sign made, you know. In fact, it took more than 2 months to get a new sign made. And I was sitting over at the old Marblehead Galley across the street from the bank, and the guys came up to me and said, Tuttamore, when are you going to get that sign fixed? It's been over 2 months. What's going on? I said, look, guys, I said, that sign's been up there since 1957. And no one's ever said anything after we took the clock down. I said, so now I get everybody walking up to me wondering what's going on with the sign. He said, that's called marketing. He thought about leaving it that way because we had a lot of people that were interested in that sign. Now let's see where I'm at here in a second. Okay, we moved to the new facility, and that's the original building. This building actually is the original building. Was the original building of what we're in today. It was remodeled a couple times, and we'll go over that in a second. Okay, as I said, the new structure was of ultra-modern design, but kept a touch of the local color by having a limestone face and one limestone interior wall. That limestone came out of the quarry. So we actually used local limestone quarry when we built that. The limestone walls on the inside were retained, and the bank's signature oak leaded lobby doors were installed in the bank's 1980 anniversary. Excuse me, the 80th anniversary in 1987. So, again, although the building was remodeled several times, part of the 1957 building also featured the first drive-up ATM, or drive-up window in the area. So, I told you we were ultra-modern. In fact, if you ever go to Bassett's to get your medicine and stuff, they got a drawer similar to what this was. They had a little drawer. It's called a dealer drawer. They used to deal it out and then you pull it back in instead of having these little tubes and little sucker. So I used to work at the bank, had one of those. It was pretty cool. So although remodeled several times, the original 1957 structure is still in use today at 709 West Main Street. And that's the structure today. There's the sign that's standing. It's not tilted over and it's not broken. I don't know. We have more people coming to the bank now asking the time because the clock's not working. So we just let it go. Yeah. We have a bunch of characters that just enjoy giving us a good time to come in. Let's see what we got here now. In 1971, a back addition was added, and in 1977, a modern two-story drive-up lane was installed. So we expanded from the little one-lane drive-up, went to the two drive-ups that we have now. And let's see. Okay. So the biggest renovation then took place in 1987, the bank's 80th anniversary, when the building was remodeled to its present look. The limestone walls were retained, and so is the signature oak glass doors. An ATM was added in 1995. That was my first project when I came to the bank here. And the board says, I don't think anybody's going to use that. That was one of the busiest ATMs in the area, so we learned a lesson on that one. Then, as we see here on this slide, in 1997, the bank celebrated its 90th anniversary by opening Danbury Township's first branch bank on 259 South Ridge Road, State Route 269. It features the Peninsula's only drive-up ATM. So the interesting story about this is we were looking at building a branch out there, and all of the studies say, you really shouldn't do it because it's not going to be profitable, or there's not enough traffic, and we did it anyways. But we had the opportunity to buy 20 acres of farm ground out there for $77,000. And all the architects that looked at this building said they wanted $1 million to build it. We said, that's not going to happen. So we designed the building ourselves, the management team did. And then we went out and found an architect out of Michigan that came down. This is actually a 3-phase building. This is still only phase 1 right now. But we bought the property and built the bank for $450,000. That included all the equipment and everything in it. Simply because we took the time to do it right. And it's a very, very profitable and very, very successful little branch. We didn't run out and build a $2.5 million bank on a leased land. We actually did it right for our bank. And then what happened is, since we had 20-some acres, the federal regulators said banks can't own all that much property. So we were forced to divide it off and sell it at an auction at the back half of the property. And we actually got $99,000 for the back half, so we actually got our money back from the land that we spent. So it's pretty cool that the things seem to work out really, really well out there for us, and we're really proud of that. In 1997, the bank celebrated its 90th anniversary by opening Danbury Township's first branch bank. I told you about that. And then on April 5th, 2000, the Marblehead Bank opened up a limited service branch in Otterbein over here on North Shore. So on Wednesdays and Thursdays, the Marblehead Bank has its own little office over here. We take care of all of the clients of our Otterbein. And actually, that's a bank that even if you have an account with the Marblehead Bank, you can even go there and use it also. It's an opportunity for us to give back to the community and to help some people that maybe are not as mobile and can't get to the bank and like that. So this is where Marblehead Bank has been very successful, is we reach out to people. We find out what they need and we try to help them with that. So that's where we have our limited service branch. And then just recently then, in 2014, we opened up a loan production office here in Lakeside, Ohio, in partnership with Lorenzo's, just down the street here. And it's pretty cool because I brought my office with me here today. This is our pop-up that we use in the office. This is our sign that we use on one of the tables. We pull a little chair behind it, put up a few signs on the walls, and we're open for business. So it worked out really, really well, and I'll talk to you a little bit about this partnership in a little while because it's pretty amazing how it's happened here. So just last year we celebrated our 110th anniversary, and some of the people from the bank are here. People working in our bank, they don't like to have their pictures taken. So I sneak pictures in once in a while. And let's see if I can see you here back in the back here. Back behind me is Lori. That's Lori Fletcher. And that's Deb Stevens. And there's Pete Schwager. There's Tyler Brown. And across the street, there's Tom. And that's Monica, one of our tellers. Cindy, one of our backroom girls. There's Patty. And there's Ann. So that's about 2/3 of the employees that work in the office there. But I just wanted to show you a picture that, we actually do have other people working in the bank. So, when I first came there, though, in 1992, we had like 22 employees. Now we're down to like 13. But we're so automated now that it's not as necessary to have as many people there. But as you can see by the numbers I was talking about with the employees, how long they've stayed here, they don't leave. That's a good thing. That's a testimony to the bank. That's a testimony to the community. And that's a testimony to the kind of people that we have hired here. John was talking about them buying their cottage here in Lakeside. I used to be back in 1976, I graduated from Bellevue High School. And then I took over as branch manager of AFCO Finance in Port Clinton, Ohio. I started my management training there, and and I also got my degree from Bowling Green State University. So I had the opportunity to come into Lakeside and look at a cottage that was on the corner. I think it was maybe 4th Street or 5th Street. Little tiny little thing, like maybe 300, 400 square feet. And back then they were still putting the sewers in, so it was a lot of dirt roads, and it wasn't very impressive at that time coming in. And the guy says, I said, well, how much you want for the cottage? And he said, well, $26,000. So I'm not going to buy a house for $26,000. So then I come back to work at Marblehead as the vice president of loans. The very first loan that I'm making is on that cottage. And they were selling it for $97,000. So inside of 20-some years, that could have been a pretty nice turnaround on my money. So Lakeside is truly a very, very special place, and we're very, very excited to be part of that. So that's a little bit of the background of the Marblehead Bank and where we are to today and some of the things that we've done. Does anybody have any questions before we go to the second part of our presentation? Yes, go ahead.
Bill, I'd like to congratulate you and the board particularly for having the branch at Otterbein. From my experience with my mother and the branch that was in her retirement community, that gave her so much independence.
Yeah,
and that's when that branch decided to go away, that was devastating to her. So congratulations. I hope you can keep that up for a long time.
Well, that's our plan. We really do enjoy that relationship. We have a really cool partnership with Otterbein. In fact, we were there when Otterbein was first built. We tried to get involved more in the construction part of it, but their corporate headquarters had already had that arranged. But we did get a piece of the action by making an agreement to be able to put a bank in there. So that was pretty exciting for us too. Any other questions?
Well, this isn't a question, but I keep a personal calendar and I put 2 dates on it as soon as I know them. The opening date for the first week of Lakeside season. The second date is your community hot dog day.
That's right. And you're all invited. Pete and I will be out there on July 7th. That'll be the Friday after 4th of July. Free hot dogs, free chips, cookies, water, pop, whatever we got. And we sit around and just have a good time talking. So that's a lot of fun watching Pete cook hot dogs on the John Starcher Memorial Grill. So we do have a lot of fun with that. And not only that, Otterbein on Thursday, the 5th of July. So that would be the 6th of July would be the Friday. I'm sorry. So 6th of July is the cookout. The 5th of July I will be at Otterbein calling bingo for all the residents. You would think that would be fun. And it is. I was telling Dakota, I spent 40 years as a broadcaster on radio doing basketball and football on radio. I got my start out of high school calling bingo games at the American Legion. And you get this lady that has 40 cards, you're going too slow, or too fast. You get this lady that has 1 card, you're going way, way too slow. And that's the way it was when we went to the Lakeside, to Otterbein. You realize that you win a bingo game at Otterbein, you get a candy bar, or a flower or something. You get $1,000,000. No, we had a really good time with them. We get to sit and visit with them. We get to sit and we buy cookies for them and coffee and tea, and we sit and have a really good time with them on that. And then on that Saturday, which is the 7th of July, at our branch on 269, we have floats. Everybody comes by, gets an ice cream float. We have the creamsicle floats, and we have whipper floats. So please feel free, if you're out and about, stop in and see us, visit us. We'd love to have you. We have a lot of fun with that. Any other questions before we go into the...
I just want to pay a tribute to John Starcher. He knows Lakeside in and out, with the peculiar plumbing problems we have. And he's always been reliable and just a good guy.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have him on our board of directors. Because he knows our bank inside and out, too. He knows good. He's been on our roof. He's been replacing toilets. He knows the bank better than I do. So that's a good opportunity. But I'd like to take this just a little bit further now, and just for a few more minutes. I know you guys don't want to spend the whole day here. And the second half of our presentation is really going to be one that I really like, is how does a small bank survive in a big bank world? And I call my presentation the story of Nemo. Guys, how many, you guys know Nemo, the little fish and the gist of the whole thing is, when Nemo stayed in his backyard, where he knew the territory, and he knew the people around him, he was safe. When Nemo got in trouble was when Nemo went out into the areas he should never have been in. And that's what's happened to a lot of our banking industry. The small banks, when they stayed in their own backyard and they did the job that they were supposed to be, taking care of the customers, taking care of the facilities that they had, they did pretty reasonably well. There's a story I like to tell about the Bank of Lucky, which is just up by Toledo. Best bank I ever knew. Little agricultural bank, very, very popular. Everybody in the community loved them, and they did well. Well, they got this, board of directors decided that they wanted to grow, and they wanted to grow fast. So they put a branch up in Toledo. The bank closed in 5 years after that, because they went into a marketplace they didn't understand, and they couldn't manage. So that's been our philosophy at the Marblehead Bank. When I first came here, I came here from some banks in other communities, but I always worked in small banks. And one of the challenges Tom gave me as I came aboard, and especially when I became president, he said, we're not going to look at expanding to any other communities until you prove to me that we've taken care of every single person in Danbury Township.